Bono Regional House of Chiefs President ene na woda enti doma hene osagefo ose ade yo agimabedo otoso mienu oye lawyer ni mapa unimumbra oye judge ni ena so ye oman hene nso ka ho anopai watra konwa wadwumayefo wahemfie ene doma manyina bunu manyina ne Ghana manyina ana UTV fo nyina ye nyina se ma happy birthday ose ade yo osagefo Dr. Ajimabedo otoso mienu doma hene wedie dakase pa ma ye nyina pa sanso ena Mavis Kwansa owo Unimark GIG wawoda Christabel Nsia ene colleagues ni nyina ase wo mama happy birthday afi ba kun so wa ha Arenoti do na for Queen unso na wawoda na amamu akoa ujampa se ono so ema happy birthday ena bakwa ewa hanso Emmanuel Adamson Right International School or come to 25 and now when you're 12 years oh my no papa Mr. and Mrs. Damson no more great cool so my happy birthday afi nana kojo boatin sorry nana no pay also yachiao ama untini kwa happy belated birthday udi no na eye Friday fiade twemu na eye wonso wawoda mami ncha me mame anti se wa bifa rock anope anti me mawachi na anti sai wa nya me na aye sunyan anti so mawachi anti akusua domasi low cost sunyan so mawachi ma Angelina Boachi ansa be chia wo kuma se na fe maako me ame original maako me mawachi na anti pina mai mamu nyina achi no pay me mame no mo doson me mame darling baby a wo bia ho so mawachi o se kwa bro don't time mo medin mabudin ne ntine no ano na no pay abujafo be come say be hyase na yebedin komo na no pay no na de ye mema affairs all men affairs nti me benkum so pe do tim benkum so pe lawyer ni ya branch lawyer ni na oka edis communication team no ho ye fe no twum berima o wa ha twum akwaba Bibia boko de enyametes ite ho ase obo life nso papa pa
se Misuse na kaka bende wana Misuse
mimum ayo ena de oto aso nso de hu ne cha na no hu dada ye friend Bernard Mona or a political activist into one more amanyesam ba mo sorry gina choboye no waka ho bi enka na PNC amayoku no no edwom tinani ono kure aso pese okoye mampani bidi mampani wo man Ghana mu tutum se onya children kra na analysis nso de emu do Bernard Akwaba
openyi maje oso
bibi aboko de
me hu ache
biso ho me hu pa sa mi ofia meta hwe pa enye ha kra na baba bibi a obi a mitri so ko hwe
sa
ai
men ka hwe
if you know have a council
I want say city na ye dey
ibidu ho isi ibidu ho nti ebe ka wasem why
na say onim say nana otumerika the first and the last
ani why
wakwaji law degree
Mebra na
is a small boy junior
Mebra Mebra no mo ka no wasem no
what the phone for ni o level hu hu ofia sa no so ono mo encheba be small boy ana no ti
brother wakwaji eyi aba na nka nchire mi
wo no mo ka
mi oye mi nua pa o na bo kala so hen krahwe bra mi na bro wi asa so be ya MP ni wo hu
na obe ya MP so on show
oh wow
oh kwabra
o so ye obe hwe mi
mo eno
afi de we wi
dia sie any na ye anya ma wo dia ba je
enti onya kala so hen kra tema west na se bedwani wono owa kokodro MPP moja yem ahye ne ma MPP honhom wo ni mu
otimi tambala besbrare
ha ntino enye nwanwa
ne mo parliamentary Ghana the campaign
Juan no.
No case is
okay then.
Oh, we just won't go. My akwabi a friend PB what the fabalo body share in the room. 88 years will come pay message.
Not the war.
What the me now want to you.
Na over ampa.
Oh, I am man.
Na dey.
Na me chere say something to do. Say them mo ya mo dia ma ya tu ni grand prince no. Na me chere mo ya something to do.
No, one
but mo pass papa.
Asem no si wie ya me interview no ofie ha. Na say honorable kala sahen kwa. O tumrika na so wan tumrika. One day we use a video near more.
No, but the question is, say we a presidential candidate. When you kwenya at steady at the way of buying for 7 years, 8 years when you away. Na say when you chance of kujina baby akwa kutu mbebunufu. Anakoye campaign say into Abamawa. Obi ballot paper afa edwane na ade ka kase
say I had the money
enya the money I had the money amomo ye ne prensa na me che say me I was unfortunately say me ye me de na de achi ankofo enya ne ba mo anaju no mu taka
obi enu aka
oni Sam George mu no mo ye ne prensa I'm telling you but the point is it doesn't even matter say we are all tools of a friend say a political party and we are used in a different ways. And say me feel say
I saw the you are used.
Most CB party, not say make me a German party. Any which way, whatever method, I will use it to save my party. But that notwithstanding, no, it does not behold on a presidential candidate to use this for campaign. Uba for your campaign, what can you make me about? Uba just say apart from sir 24-hour economy, and this will be because the ambulance, the doctors, and nurses go. Na ye baba warm panian kakra ofi. It will work some papa bianca. Never the send you. I remember who I said I was in 24 hours. But one planning no say to buy.
You must have love.
I want NDC to understand say nanka Ghana for train no matie as papa bi afiri mo say ye ba ni bit me differently and bit me differently. Unim say NDC and the what abamu ne with all this goings on. Russia, Ukraine, no COVID, buy and Gaza crab be coming. Anka dollar ko 50
Gaza be coming.
Israel.
I know my petrol. They don't have anything to offer Ghanaians.
Yeah, and near Shasi and
the lawyer.
May come a chef for you now, share. Said Nepa. So when you be a Chamasa Betraka. On some men, they can't be bad job in a lawyer. Also, Cabra, so Sana Ben on it's honorable and him cry. Now, say, CDC, and then I'm away. They say, and I'm 15, echo 15 something. Now, finance minister say, we will stabilize the city. Such stabilization, ya can want someone can every sector, or can for that or can the same thing. Ebia, my peninia who can cover Benesi or can some to your one or can the same thing. And then, Honorable Mohammed, I mean, Adam also say, you best stabilize the city, no, or nuclear wakase, you best stabilize, or nuclear so we share the Bokrats about, I think Chronicle now. I think Chronicle, yes, Chronicle. Or can same be Chronicle, Mammy Fa and Kawana Fee, meet their worker. Or say, Finance Minister plead with business community. Please stop rushing to buy dollar. Etiebisa say Russia, Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, Palestine, COVID, Hifampo.
Sudan, say Sudan yantoka ohonti.
Sefa Sudan ka wana. Ni fa Congo so ane bibia.
La dey say ono ochiro dey obeka.
Ente biye dey aka ka wonyina. It's emu dey wo he pa na problem when it comes to CDA area e wo dollar ni other foreign currency.
Governor ma menchia wo na menchia wo mo hwe na menim say e ba ha che kakra. And saying na you know adwuma de me kokko pp baby ntino. Is
graduation.
Also, Kaji day.
Okay, yeah, graduation.
Now the encouragement no.
Anye juma.
Na day.
Oko school.
The offices on a host nana.
Then so do nim do kan.
Onim or speculate.
That be oko.
We should video na an akodi ni na yi certificate.
Hey, that is a host for ya hinewa.
Baako.
Na wo akodi certificate na ya ba.
Dan na udina ha na me udina kwaje media. Mun show the video.
The batch was abotre. O le babu you show yet. But the most important thing is say me koye adwuma. Let's take it like that.
That go school.
Maybe certificate is coincidental, yeah, you know, but because you but me fa sa kwanya na menchia me nuano ne me maame no water my west kankane me new parliamentary candidate or baba besima na ya MP for Tema West weekend Saturday work will be organizing even though shoot to ano match na besi anopa no the way ankrofo fam e be din achi e make sure say you project no e ma me sa I register and say Tema West there's no way power with me free and sir or no need Dr. Bamu Bawumia are in pole position to win that seat menchia me offer when he assume and assume full nyina won crying and Kumasi I hope so be a nyame pair ye bebe fie kama
right
dollar semi na me ka bibi se senka enye MPP aban na wakonwam na eye aban foforo bia ba now me senka dollar nka do 50 Ghana cedis adintra ni nyansa ni nhyehyeye ya aban penimfo a omo handle sa situation omo de afaso ama go for oil this army nyina kra be mu ema the pressure on dollar no cry call for the pressure demand for dollar no call for me ade no and na ama yet me even attrocon up to now and from January to date no depreciation 14% on average me can say 14% at the pa because senka a lower anka yepe eboa traders eboa or mine ebobia but even with this deterioration and as with this situation of 14% a far better than senka NDC for now abema odi opa yenko back the comparison now your NDC for rate of depreciation on average na yemfa en compare yedi na kobre ba ne se ni bibedru ha COVID ni in some year by any your friend saying Ukraine Russia war ya ka I bedru baby na ye ho service approach and so credit agencies running and down and as somebody a call for no and my one more boy and besia for forex no etwetwe omo in fact ne na ya crowd no say omo na omo ato ye bonds mi kura dada anka omo renew no every year no kura sans me renew bi me give sika meanwhile sa forex and every year gia ye dey show up dollar request and I demand there were Ghana and my traders dey dey bia dey say be DCD ye nya dollar juma ye print dollar wa ha ye nya dollar hu akwanya bia ni gu dollar hu a friend saying share bia but say trader e be import no ma ohia dollar say industry machinery say no perspective ohia dollar obi tu kwan akoba bi ohia dollar nkankampo any one more ba free Nigeria na a friend saying neighboring countries ba be to the queen and the pressure na way dollars no edoso now just imagine say ye nya dollar bi ama inside e me support to sa akwenye ama demand no obiri beka outstrip supply and certainly when such backward forces friend saying happen the situation will change there will be
dollar who asem okay say of your man ya bakose mu fi ya wo mu bepem sa abiri ya ji fa hodie no dollar nsem ya na aye sa every time ya the dollar see the dollar sa bepem en nti enya de foforo
and make us enya de foforo but say wo situation na unya dollar the support to and the choko no en yen we say you know aye obikase aye se papa ebububu
I didn't tell man esa
and make yenya forex na nanka ye ko amanone money market and
e ko be se e ko pe ba no
yenya intilo se unya na bebe support but na me no kase nya me nchade finance minister so as workers also be find every ways and means to stop this thing it's not the friends said obeto boabo na nice bi so $2.3 billion we are expecting and I'm kwemu eba
ana e be se ana se ye sika
oh be na ye sika every World Bank and eba you expect cocoa syndication so by the last quarter of this year and also about about 1.3 billion and 2 billion. A friend say, Sir Garrett Louis, and look like a pass of parliament, 150 million. Ebi amenoka say, if we need by next week here, SSS can also hit it, and we have about 200 million from the World Bank, IMF support. A friend saying, funding beer and also bem. Intina all kind of paper back who say, more beyond Russian conquer dollar no. Say you Russian the panic buying bemwa, and the dollar demand outstrip supply more grammar, and your man happen the way happen no. Ma obi anwen say and as obi ansusu say sa problem we e buying na cost and say buying situation. Ghana had there. Me kaba Ghana had there sepeta prache say obi kura na yiri kura kon dem a wanye careful a ye be dua kasem na akwakofa ne say buying kra ka ho bi MPP NDC na sem na asay. Moma yen hwe no pragmatically. I think say ye dum pepenso bi a dollar issue na ba national issue until say ye benya sa upgrade no from credit agencies no ama yetwiasa go back to the money market near sa kasa yearly inflow no to support our situation no it's not going to be different, but we hear managers of such a situation to ensure say you let them manage in such a way say depreciation in go too much say at January to date you suffer 14% loss na enya ade a too bad in the few in face of the fact say ye nya sika ni free baby na be support to na mefa sa kwanya we su na mama ye traders ne ye businessmen organ atiase say ye to be more exports as against imports a ba krom hanmo it will solve so many problems indeed.
1D1F na
1D1F was supposed to do what we call import substitutes. As several as ABS and Gaspesi and your credit bar. Your 1D1F company space here. You bear in such a way say for Emma inside. And I'll be inside cry, you had that, and to be able to talk cheaper one and I said any more from than the other bano. But unfortunately, and no, and I mean and this for a regional say exemption credit my 1D1F company no much me I am what you want. Yeah, exemption no FM on. I'm on the about 2 person about a press conference.
That ben am omukasa because we know say 1D1F and mo share ho bono about somewhere eba modika kan wasam kransa mobile bam 2017 international share mo nti sa exemptions no 1D1F no bebre na ewo ho nti mo ama omu bi man am de ma omu no ebisa say impact ben na wo am di kan de ma omu no wo production atumi anya ewo economy ne so based on that nti betumi gira so aka say ye ma fofofo we no mu a ye betumi anya more impact ewo economy no so
Cobra say obi fa the sika free ni krum no the bagana has oba be set up company o ha number 1 waboa o ben nwen say wo ye ne favor men nwen say Ghana ye hwe efe intina ode ba ha wo hwe West Coast e free Nigeria be go Senegal your topography bia everything is almost similar, soil type bia is almost the same into ode be ba ha no no be dia Cote d'Ivoire we do ya friends Benin we do ya Togo enti se wonyamoa e de ba ukromu a na se waboa. Now the first thing that you talk about is the social contract that this person who is bringing his money to invest here has with the government of Ghana. What is social contract? So be family mi nu ye nuanu mo street so adwuma. Don't forget that we all sit here every day and we cry about employment.
Yeah, 8 years in you.
We cry. Me ba say about me just say. Oh, now how can 8 years? As if say 8 years no.
Almost 8
years be near animu. One company, one factory government we anya. What you say there? Matthias. No. Said Commander Sugar factory government we anya. One factory per.
Me can say.
Yeah, almost 300 factories.
Okay, me that's it. Inside 300 factories, you know. Economic impact ben.
Employing people economic impact.
Impact ben enya e economy no so per se because export substitution, right?
Yes. There be import substitution.
Niema import substitution. It is a niema de be kwa ma no ne no. Ye be kra de be ba ne ye be bi wa ha.
Yes.
It e den sika no so be kofam kakra.
Yes.
Na bisa say so far about 300 na mo so maye no. Sa 300 no impact ben and enya economy no so
obetie me mama first impact they went here. First impact is job creation. Have you realized that as we speak today nipa bia nanka bia no mu ni adwumaye nipa bia nanka ebia almost street mo ton dog chains nipa bia nanka ebia sebita fracture adwuma kro mo nanka nya adwuma fata ene factory to absorb one. For example, call a coffee juice. Go and look at the number of employees there. There are a lot of them. Yes. That is a social contractor. Nipa be investing in Canada yama Ghana for. Only Ghana for no why employ. It is good. Number 2, companies here ma invest wa nyina no. Omu tua tax. In terms of our employee omu tua pay. Any economic impact. Who say ya tumia tutokro kakraka bi no mo imprison wo ye ne ya be guma feel to kro no. But if you go down and do the micro, you will see say they have done something. And of course, bisa whole question, say companies in your crash wa and what happen? All those people will still be in the streets. And they have done something. But my question is say Saudi Arabia first group of companies. Now another group about and on their own firm because they need that to be able to stand on and say, oh, Ghana, more enabling environment a board for investment. It is a man exemption no. Now I can stay here and let Ghana become my home. Factory see be oko share edifice om dey see or facility wey see wa on twin two so amfa kono krumu back onya siesie no dey aba Ghana dia enti say ye boapaye say ye mpene em exemption number 1
ebe ha adwene
ebe say bibia ya
meba wo sama ka nyina no na me pikin na komo ye di mu wo sha ase no e kame I say what chaban na sinchen and now with the COVID, Russia, Ukraine, Gaza, tax exemption, Somalia, and now with the account say, and no a major cost until ama yesika samuno enyina bibia ejina. But you should be
wajabaku.
Your
exports.
Exports.
As a cost to support to bring in more forex.
Yes. Eti ekame say sanya mani nyina ye ne bia. It's like aban no se wonim say so how nini. Why not solving the problem?
How can we solve Gaza conflict? How can we solve Russia-Ukraine conflict?
So,
how can we solve COVID?
COVID. It's COVID back home, you know. And you're Ghana nko.
Yes.
Cote d'Ivoire be for.
Yes.
Benin, Togo.
Yes.
Ama say awu do nyina. Yen show mo say kasem tutu say the city.
Oh.
The infant tutu say dey on yen hwe.
Opening o ma etra na yebeti. O de opa. Because say we need factor. Opa suma wo nkasa nkrofo yi. Na omoma detailed report on what is actually going in the sub-region. Nigeria do because don't want to currency dollar or currency. No money be a circulation. Dollar, what is the date of free or $100 they are suffering more than that. Say no because they do baby na petrol. Even in Nigeria, we don't took crude oil more about 1 million barrels.
But when you say so almost on better, almost they are not better. So
on better the Enzo.
Nigeria full around better. So
almost better maybe yeah, any my year a different.
So almost
train, see, with the cabinet, train no money, we are no casas actually. Maybe now Nigeria first get take quite a baby check a friend same free, electricity free, and so let's go money be. Man, but and you must say no. Ghana may say yade. We have done so well, except say yes, a yaw ebia baba share. Ye nipa bim especially me traders me businessmen me no me deals was watching obi an wo pese ne capital share obi an won ma o pese ne sika sembe ko form sabe ye say na $6,000 at those times 6 no na 36,000 Ghana cedis
okay and I say
and they would divide ya and it's nothing to write home about.
Nti na sabre na niema enye na ye kan wasem se no nye nti ofofromra na no ofofro na ba na say no
that's circumstance that's a san pack ben fan that's circumstance that's a san I must say one you could be money market bill because of
your yes anya mani nyina under whose administration
you see so what father say will be things and it follows from a point
jabi what the enfant say edu baby edu sa point so na say point we mo
answer na be ba bem no so no say na edeka
na point we mo nya de te
mo ba sabotre answer na be ba no say edeka
okay
na edeka kakra pa about 222 billion
na edeka
good and ye ko be 600 billion
650 almost 700 billion
because of exchange rate near the multipliers and say but the point is say that time no na san no masisi nyina ne bi ni ho and no masisi say ne wa ne bi ni ho
na covid mai
wa covid
na Russia na Ukraine
ene go mo to kwa Gaza kra na mai and because so won fa wan ko ho a anytime we hear a conflict we see Middle East no petrol prices raffle or the forwarding question and I analyze question I had and to me minim say because of Israel and Gaza semi it's going to create a whole lot of tension on fuel issues.
But fuel what cost and Gaza and talk about fuel.
Oh, of course. Those referees say about for you started go for about form. After that started say picking. But you see, because see, yeah, go so. Mama men can be in chill. What I say, we dollar and seven the free, and that's what I tell people. Apart from dollar problems, say yeah, come in summer, no. For what you question I had all the social interventions that Nana Akufo-Addo introduced, yen jai ba kokra. Tieni asema me kan yi. Hwe Gaza ene ho Russia Ukraine ni COVID ni ade nyina no. Free SHS yenya yo. Ene ya double intake from 600 to 1.4 million. Nursing training allowance yenya atua o nansan won saka obusika mo nyina dwubule binum. Wanum ebinum omu nyina omu saka obusika
ebinum
baby that can be the akabeko and then you see when you make a matter basa how are you even analyzing this so ka say bi mun saka who is telling us the can dey me dey okay omo mun saka omo dey na make it do ba men kan wi teacher training allowance yenya atua and then you call friends health insurance school feeding and aso koso not a single of the social interventions you in cities no has been affected. It should tell you something. Say external control shocks no. And I can support what me ma sa Russia against Ademanu nyina at me abeti and as Ajaya. Akufo-Addo we see the whole world can you be number one. But say me no ka say UK ebre. None of me free UK buy you won't believe it. Hotel bills, hotel rate cra nyina double. Everywhere. Baby I'm a me 150 pounds. We 350 pounds. You won't believe it, and that is what it is. Sika now they call shopping, and now they call grocery every week. Say 140 pounds, and 350 pounds for the same item.
What consider economic strength? Niama hodoa ewo ho aban kakra no. What take those into consideration compared to Ghana there how they etutu ho?
Wo say what the fast line no ho. Enwuma bi aban ba yi a be man krofo han ha no. Enkrofo na ma aban ni sika body yi.
Good.
What yes, sir.
Granted.
Good.
But she no ho. So nipa no to me han kakra.
So when yes can find in she no a enye yi. Aha. Nipa tie 34 million. Only 2 million any tua tax.
Nti de na moye.
De na ho na moye.
De na moye.
Na kokofa bibi ba. Na yenuan mo free NDC aso kon. O ka bibi a na tax wo tia wo e-levy. Wo din konya wo kan wo bi. Wo ni papa yo hyehye kokko. Why demonstration?
And why you always blame something? Say be assembliesi. Na mo blame all the time. Mo dey blame na ma and na we anka when na ye
because
when say government ni nye policy
because you don't allow government na Ghana for say onko tsan konyo no onwin man no you don't allow him to work.
How
ni dey make e-levy abe condemn ye e-levy abe condemn
when condemn ye your own presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no Peace FM asama no kan
forget
who say me na me yema
I was not there you and I you and I were not there but you see Bawumia if you want to talk about Bawumia today I dare you free he's the most sensible person that you ever come across
really
and yes question is excuse my French then you see from French
no okay we peace
so be o kan say
me na me kun
o kan say
o say
second host
Dr. Bawumia one kept behind that stand e wo yi levy won dey we hin
the stand they say yi levy no and he say affected poor people so nobody yi levy no because poor people they using the baby
is it affecting poor people now or not?
Hold on. When we started, what happened? Yes, one member up to 100 Ghana cedis, no, you're in charge. And poor people, no, were those in that category. That is the brains I'm talking about here. Because here, we best send 20 cedi for a credit, 10 cedi for we 50 cedi for apart for. Those were the people he was trying to bracket. And we bracket yes.
Honorable,
but proposals of my abuse, you know.
Answer Mama Kwamo.
What is our
me be person previous administration, the rate and dollar no e kosoro no percentage wise no more dey better.
Yes.
Fine. Yeah, sure bibi. And before 20 mobile ban mu no. Ne ya wo IMF nchihye ase. Na ye service ye external debt.
Yes. Of course.
One. Na ye nye DDEP bia.
Yes.
Two. Local and amanoni DDEP bia ye nye. Nye nye head cut bia. Na sa measures nyina e bi ni ho. But that time no so no.
And the rate of depreciation was higher.
That time no so no. Na omo artists is it fund ahodo be sinking fund ne sa stabilization fund no mo discuss so atutumu enti enfa ho say na dollar no wosoro e chance dey wo kan say e woso cha momo de no na say na manyina omo service on debt and na me no ka say service external debt enti e start say service external debt na dollar ne be say e be then
Oja Kwamra say ubemiki analysis we say anamba say we take the total and complete resource information to let the people understand. Na COVID so ni ho faka ho sa na Russia and Ukraine war ni ho.
Na dum so.
Well, that do so the say there
local productivity ko form kra.
It can when na person will kana man for tie. So that time no.
Na local productivity wo form
kra.
Kojoto enso yanye DDEP. Enso yes
that is what enso that is here. Professor Misaka, I will explain to you, and I'll tell you why all these things came in. And I make catch will say, you bedroom baby COVID ni Ukraine. Emma, yeah. What they say about from abrofui downgrading a course CCC. Emma, one more be safe for bunting. The same thing they were doing. They were going to the money market for the same thing.
No can say scan with ya. That's it. Can ya. It is kind of way.
Yeah, for one day in Venya says.
Okay, me that's it.
Yeah, lithium says you lithium. Say, of course, I start here. A lot of people, and then Ghana is the number one producer in the world. And it should tell you, say, we are getting somewhere.
Almost
the only problem is that you have money market.
Why should it be say?
Because you have been downgraded.
Nkojiska wo bra mo say the economy ni de muna mo wo memma na betu aye adwuma ni nyina antie nyina
e dia kaze o memma me bi cheska e ko se memma bi
memma wo
America kwa mo besia wonu America mo besia wonu UK London mo besia
me da se
wonu China kwa mo besia obia mo besia wo wi ase mo besia na je wonya credit I mean you should know say country wo wi ase a wo mo besia na say you are not credible. Yes, every country borrows.
Bernard wotie unia the analysis or ya for economy who say see the no best stabilize man crofon to become $4 and they said what can nyina ma meti wo so the finance minister kan e no so na dwen tro de aba and they said also who no fa
me das ma me politics menua achum barima and Carlos Ahenkra or say 3 weeks near one bahanti.
Akoya adwuma.
Wako school I see one.
My school for 3 weeks. We know how many years.
1 man 38 minutes.
That is at it time. Is that
1 man 38 minutes.
Yes, Bernard Kasa. Why? Because on our ben say to manage church and see mo na ton crofa.
Adwuma na
David on church dem.
No, go so church.
Nia oye no na ya ode. Dia na o church dem.
In Manchester.
Dia na o church dem. Ba ye ona nkasa fuse. Because onim baby I say on fan sem no fa. Tie.
Tie.
Enche bia no.
Me do boni a chew.
Na me ankasa me bra panyi. Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Yes.
Na on Central University, any other universities. Emma economic lectures. Efa ye Ghana abrabe munsem. Enche biano. Na inua penyi. Na wachro exam questions. 171 questions. Ena odiakoma openi Vice President, how do you call it?
Mr. Atta.
The late Vice President. So, as a Vice President, ye saw 171 questions, no, and we are. Answers now, or the Bemano. would fix the problem of this country, the vacillating nature of our currency, the measured growth rate, and employment. Until until 171 questions. And ne position na emesa ata ewono. That is the position the vice president is in today. Into questions now ono ankasa oseti no. This is the time for you as the chief examiner to answer the questions. Nka o answer those questions we should not be having the depreciation of the currency. Inflation should not be going up. Growth should be accompanied by development, not growth in isolation and development is growing down. Unemployment, no, you address it. But those 71 questions are still with my brother, His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. What is he doing with the questions? He should provide the answers and let's find solution to the problems of this country. Na se wanye sa na minuya Carlos abetina TV so. Na o ka say the rate of depreciation of our currency is 14%. What do you say? Till say you were memo. Just last month, April, the dollar was around 12 cedis to your friend is saying to a dollar.
Yeah, 12 cedis to a dollar. Exactly, yeah.
And when you have 100,000 Ghana cedis, naturally say you could get $8,000. And yes, sir, if you had 100,000 Ghana cedis, you could get $8,000. Into what time 100,000 Ghana cedis? Edi akoto nyama. Nyama nusu a okoto buy no. The rate of your friend is saying turnover is very low. The sales is very low. Into ebi mo abeto ewo credit. Into omo beto no, you bought it at that price. Be nowadays some 2 cedis edi atoso. That is your profit margin. Only 2 cedis edi akahono. In less than 3 months, in less than a month, dollar no, I could do 15 cedis.
I'm sorry, I crowd pay 10 o'clock about 15.
Into $1 at 15 cedis to $1. What that means, they say, 8,000 now you used to get from 100,000 Ghana cedis. Say, I done 5,000 or less. But all sign a koto near manibium. Into you were buying maybe 20 cartons of a product. Sisiano, ni auton ya omudika omoba betuano, omunka se dollar no bua kosurunti, na auton my 14 cedis. Inti yeba no yeba betuya 17 cedis. So that you
enye sir.
So say uye businessman. Na waton niema on credit. Answer no mobile betuano, you have run at a loss. Your capital is dissipated. Capital no is dissipated. And no neye reality. Edema many Ghanaian businesses into say Oko Jom Sisia. You see that shop temporarily close. Because Omukotoba, Omonton we no, they are already running at a loss and their money is finishing. Abra omo ye no say no, na appointees of government. Omo de sika bia omo nya. Na omo convert it into dollars, into pounds and other things. No omo de share omo pass it. So when government appointees are starting money in dollars, you expect, then the minister comes to say, don't rush to go at dollars. The test case of Cecilia Dapa, say Yesika, go and put it under your bed. In 2021, sorry, na dollar to a cedi, na saying about 6 cedis to $1. Now say, say $5 million because $1 million no we are here. That is what is in court. Now ni omu we are no, we don't know. So I'm assuming that it's more. It be a $5 million. At that time, no, your 5 million, or let me just take the $1 million, no, movie, no. $1 million, no, movie, no, would be the equivalent of 6 million Ghana cedis. Say, see a $1 na nyeshi, you know, sikano eda on pass, you know, you'll be getting 15 million cedis plus. I hope you understand my analysis. Say, see a sikano enye jumebiano, dollar keke, ena wato, ena odiatum, odiashe on pass, you know, you'll be getting 50 million cedis. Then why appointees of Nanado are stashing monies in dollars under their beds? And it's a minister for finance. Epe baby the dollar is. Tell Mr. President to authorize his appointees to release the dollars to the banking sector. That way, the banks will have the money. Na se nipa epe dollar na omotimi akonya bi.
Nto susu se sa sikasem ya dollar ye ho akwa atwe no. Nye so wa chirechire mu se COVID and Ukraine mampeni abede chire kra kan sem some time back. Won so kan source or the questions bi former the late Misuse. But before Bakama for Tarek say, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. My penabody chase some lectures been and saying, I'm a necasa some corona. My young tea, I want to feel to our some sooner and what your submissions.
In measure of law, I'm a Disney.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. It is 100% correct. So if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But it is warped logic to jump from that to a conclusion that if there is depreciation in their currency, then the fundamentals must be weak. Do you understand the logic? It is very warped logic. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the exchange rate moves, you cannot jump to that conclusion that the fundamentals are weak. That defies logic. Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. It is 100% correct. So if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But it is warped logic to jump from that to a conclusion that if there is depreciation in their currency, then the fundamentals must be weak. Do you understand the logic? It is very warped logic. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the exchange rate moves, you cannot jump to that conclusion that the fundamentals are weak. That defies logic.
Okay. When I say my parent, the town hall meeting, of course, so and I'm percent to me at the questions not beside or say, I be a book no kind. The same so sanity. I'm a warped logic. But for Cassie Mudupa, but I'm meeting you, but now one who saw Cassie.
My moment, Jerry, what was when no problem.
First and foremost, signboard video no kakra.
Obo video kakra.
Oh, ma, ade.
Okay,
kasa no na meti studio.
You we dey kasa.
Na se obo video no a. Time na obeka say the exchange rate is weak. It means that the fundamentals are weak. It is warped logic to think that depreciation of the currency means the fundamentals are weak. Just the posturing of the people sitting, the economic management team now on it, now on multi high table no. Share omoinim. Share your friend is saying Carlos, I am saying now that time no your deputy minister. Share the minister Alan Chirimantin. Alan Chirimantin Dani Neti say. So evidently, now what logic was referring to the man who was making that pronouncement.
Which man?
Clearly, you say that what is depreciation of the cedi? Is that not exchange rate volatility? So when the exchange rate is not stable and is vacillating, we call it depreciation of the cedi. You can choose that as exchange rate volatility. Until you have used the same word, but you substituted this time by using depreciation. Now, what are the fundamentals of the Ghanaian economy? A raw material-led economy. An economy that does not own the means of production. An economy that is largely dependent on imports. Those constitute the fundamentals of the economy. Until you don't control the means of production in your country. Today, as we speak under the Bawumia Akufo-Addo regime, nobody controls the means of production. Enunti ena utimika say GDP epeja, gross domestic product epeja. But as soon as that GDP is created, it's gone away. And I keep saying that those who own that GDP, omonya omosikano, now you calculate it as your part of the money generated in your country, no? No mafa edi ashe bag mu edi atu omochi omuni nam Australia na omo bo golf na yeti na comedy yan na yeti ha ye ni adwuma
so 1D1F for okay about 300 1D1F and yeah bibia
who owns 1D1F that be, who owns 1D1F
okay ekujus
me say who owns it. I'm talking about not owning the means of production. Who owns it? Kwame Nkrumah established factories now mobeton ye no. They were owned by the state of Ghana.
One of the toy.
They were owned by the state of Ghana. Tell me who owns it. You wasted our money. So what you are saying? So clearly, the fundamentals are now even weaker. Tio Minia Carlos. If at this time we are not servicing our debts, so sir.
Yeah.
At this time, most contracts have been suspended. And contracts now are suspended. They have now created a death path at the Amayang Obichebi circle. So nimniaye contractor asizi ejuma drainages no ya ntimi anye oni ye nti bibia da ho nso kitwa bia etoye no. The whole place has been flooded from that place to Circle to Kaneshi to Accra. Because contractor no yesi nti contractor kwatinase. Se okofa Junction Mall Teshi edi ba all the way to Accra ebedu Labana. The contract has been stalled. No single job no single work is being done on that job. Oma ye Ghana juma 30 years, ebimo 40 years. Oma bre ama oma Ghana. Omo sika kakra oma anya. Omo se ye de kwa koto government securities. Eno na aye assured. The whole world government securities are the assured investment. And yes sir. Se si ano mo yomuti kole. Sika no aye omo dia no. Muntimi ntua omo ka, omo ba beje omo sika. You give them at a discounted rate. So you are not paying them. In the face of not paying them, no, you are still having an escalation in the inflation of your currency. Now, yetiho, now see, if the fundamentals are weak, it's warped logic to say that the depreciation of the currency means that the fundamentals are weak. Which fundamentals have you changed?
So say warped.
Me say which fundamentals have been changed? That Ghana is not import driven, that we don't export raw material, that we don't own the means of production. So if these constitute the structure of an economy, you don't own that economy. Remember example I had the citing. Go to the telecom industry. In the telecom industry, no, sure, all the telcos are not owned by Ghana. Yeah, I am one of the weak users of your friend said data and voice. But in a day, I spend up to 50 cedis. In Timimfan say the average Ghanaian spends 50 cedis on voice and data a day. Now you were 20 million subscribers. So multiply 50 by 20 million. How much do the mobile phone service providers earn in a day? 20 million times 50. That is the amount of money that is calculated every day as part of your GDP. But you sit here and calculate that as GDP has grown, yet economic development is decaying. To constantly use GDP as a reference point of the health of your economy when you don't own it. Yeah, yare. Look, we sold Ghana Airways. Was planes a name for so and yes sir. Ne ya copy besia. E di abesi plane park. Airports. So the planes will come from Togo, from Benin, to come and land in our airports. President Akufo-Addo was in Kumasi, commissioned an uncompleted airport.
International airport.
What is uncompleted about it?
Right.
No, what is uncompleted about
no
it?
Are you using it?
Okay.
No way.
The whole airport, maybe. Is it being used?
Yes.
Who is going there?
I don't want to use you.
Yeah,
yes, you want that.
Say play number two man
Okay,
I'm on floor.
But it's completed. Why?
What is it?
Commercial airport is completed.
Yes.
100% completed.
This is finished. The point is, you people are you see
International Airport.
You are refusing to realize, say, one more operating aircraft on land, and the private people would have to choose where they want to go. And I mean, you can say Ethiopia Airlines, Egypt Airlines. Almost started a year. A friend is saying advert had to come.
So, and I'm saying into Kumasi International Airport, 200% completed.
Then go your commission.
Thank you.
Once it is commissioned, it can be used.
Kwabena.
What do you say? Egypt abesiwo. Why do you want to even go do that mathematics? Egypt abesiwo. The first international flight about Musa.
Na make us say.
What do you say?
100% completed. And I'm saying 100% completed.
Whether 100 or 97% completed. It's the first international flight that makes you walk. I'm a possible so much That's the most important thing. That's some crazy.
The construction of anything, you test run it, you use it, and then come and commission. You just don't build. You have not used it. You have not checked the efficacy and functioning of the facilities there. Then come and start. No more the ribbon at one. Now, now say I have commissioned.
Why are you speculating? And you wouldn't answer saying
give me one international flight that landed there.
Egypt Air.
Before.
Yes.
Egypt Air.
Before the commissioning.
Before the commissioning.
Egypt Air.
The
Egypt Air flight of Chataba and the whole Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you like, I can show you the video. The runway would have to be on international flight
before the commissioning or after the commissioning?
Before the commission, long before the commission.
Long before?
Yes.
Okay.
Before the video nature one. Okay. It was a way in April.
So clearly there was no test running of the facility.
That is very, very speculative. Very, very speculative.
And Papa no.
Okay, for my head near brow.
Where we? A happy person near how better I join you. No, A4 paper. We are
a slender one.
Clearly, we did not do these things. And Americano, you sell your airways, now go and borrow money, come and build airports for people's planes to come and land. So you owe. It doesn't make sense. Minister, you. Minister, you. Say we will not rush to go and buy dollars. But some of you, and those of you appointed by President Akufo-Addo, you have rushed and you have bought the dollars and the pounds and what have you. They are under your bedrooms. Can you allow those things to be released?
Where is serious allegation are you?
Can you imagine?
Allegation for who?
Say, more discount. More than say $1 no one quite you know. I buy move for na $100 in Ramanizer.
Now we so a speculation.
It is.
We so you speculating.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you busy on no is going to go and zigaya.
After the BSc. Ebi see that.
Is he
Obi wa abẹ mo de 3 million koto dan nenu ama ni ra de tari kan wa ko mo
wato dan de gunu pass no ono
e gunu pass ko ba koto o se ye tro check ye veska e so you free pass ko ba
o that was not me ba
interjection.
Oh yeah de
$3 million cash. Ade we abẹ ifo
but me to me etna se na ma kasa na me kasa
go kasa la wo kan nyina no eye NDC kasa dum ko
how can me person me be o mampanyi
o na we na wo kasa be NDC.
How am I talking for NDC?
Because what you are saying, and you can't know aka. It's the first time obi this guy go send him pass. Obi the share pass go to dime you. Am ani ra no. David. You come Mr. Rollins. Rollins the kind.
David.
Only tell
David. Near all cano. And say AC Daninti.
No, it's not justifiable. No, that's not what it is.
So what I'm saying,
so what again should I say? When you are saying, don't say that. So see here,
nunti ena Ghana bufu ye ena omoto ma mo say don't come and do the things that happened yesteryears. Now ene the justification for niamo ye boni amo ye no ne say esi ye man kahwe ana and how
no, nobody is justifying that. And everybody has so me myself I've sat here and condemned that. You know that.
But what did you just do now?
What I do is say, oh, chabodi and west. Body and west. In Sankara, when you plant yam, you plant kukuya.
No.
No.
You plant beans.
You plant beans.
Dollar no. It's not contained by just the minister saying that stop rushing for dollars. What do we import? Kabna, unim say we import everything second hand in this country. Toothpick, second hand yedeba.
Second hand toothpick.
Empire yeda, second hand yedeba. Television, second hand yedeba.
Almost everything.
Everything apart from toilet paper. And also second hand niho. Otherwise, we'll still be importing toilet paper as second hand. Now, when you have such an avarice, voluptuous appetite,
and you're right,
for imported goods, even in their third hand, how do you expect that your currency can be stable? Eduane ayebedi. We import the food. Eduane agana ha onam na o wi nkatie krampo na eto forma in 2 days 3 days obano na nkatie no enyi. We still go and buy and import it. Those are the challenges. That is the fundamentals that we are talking about. You are not in charge of the fundamentals of your economy. So don't come and tell us to stop rushing for dollars. In any case, the banking system is what the traders used to go and buy. Except on one, they can carry money to Lagos, to Benin, and to Togo. But most of them, they use the banking system. But the dollar is not in the bank. Eshemon passe.
Yeah. What my reasons in Tia, yet will be a dream. Honorable Kalasa Henkra. Now, we share the finance minister canon so, but could be a hanker, Sanka Medical Crana, Naka, Ebiano Crabby to me, Abway, or say medium terms economic outlook. It look good. The finance minister say medium term economic outlook looks good
on paper.
It looks good. And now,
it looks good on paper.
$2 million dollar no, more yes, moi, and Sikasam the big in a way will be answered. I don't pay. I mean, about Mr. Catcher, $1 no. Asat no pay asat 10 AM no na dollar no
the bill
no asat no pay before 10 babu ikra no and I'm 15.95 $1
America to is open 15 cities okromo all right
say to 15 cities hotel bill
Are you? Okay. Into material what the boss, but before I call quickly, my may Emma may teacher be na no yet the chaplain for Independent Secondary School. I just learned yesterday say we're free. Elder Samuel upon Bequin. Yeah, he was school the friend Subek. He was one teacher, now a very disciplinarian. Na just discipline the obwa. Subek be discipline opa. And pa yi mema na busu odam yako. Enra awiem ho ba bi na me hu ni post wo your school page ba akoso a na wom de bato say they were free mu. I think so onya about 78 years or so. Ti e ma busu na yako. Na yama nanado man hin so sagefo so o say dey yon so trinkwa for ene eye ne birthday no. On so ye man trinkwa kase ni asese nyankopon koso man nimde ne nyansa ni hunu mu o de bebu ni man. Ade aye na dwuma so o de so ye man Ghana nyina nso. Na mawie ni sa no encha kase akoma His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene Professor General Opoku Agyeman na ya kai Ghana for say mpanin se sedu ba bi na se ora ho na wusu ya na wusu hwe obi a wusu hwe nanim a onisi obetua ba te se ba bi a Ghana abeduro no nipa o man yi ene timamofo wusu hwe nanim a onisi obetua ba no enyo biara se Yewura John Dramani Mahama no se yenkoso kai Ghana for say the 3-shift system of the 24-hour economy, no, basso life and colored, whether the MPP understand it or not. Basso, yeah, the means I remember first to be the employment sector. The muma nipa do et minya jumaye. Ewo mind Ghana muha. Na yenu ano mu awie school. Na nso eduma sama be den man ne aban ba akopɛ na tie akonya so na dan kokofo ne ba omi aban na te so. Na nso arahu sem ne se aban kro ba akopɛ no mfihia nso nwotwe mu ni omu tie akonya so no. Omu ntimi nkyerɛ adwuma no do omu bie. Ba omi aka different figure. Finance minister can different figure. Wom obia can figure separate. Asam ne ba akopɛ so obi adwuma number no will not be an issue to battle with. And so unfortunately because the omo kan nya no kura ni nti we ka benkum we ka nifa we na mfimfin ba ni nyina mu no ya se ya na chia na so ya se emunto fom a ya na edesen kasa bebu ni nyina ra se de achia no edan sabo adwondoma ni Mahama baba abetre no amana yiye na me de si wasa na jana de American de frase dollar sem no ye me am teacher no I mean anta o kire petroleum economics. He is very sound, very good guy, very intelligent. I don't doubt him about nim de ho na so araho sa no se asomo kan ne wontimi nya
I didn't try.
Do aka no wontimi nya na me be tumira kire osie aja na ban no temu nei a share bobi say them movie from production taxation to production. Because a production no do so na se timi de bi kwama no ekoton a eno ba ma yesi de na nya hoden achen American dollar no woman timi anisunti na na dollar no ye ebo yen yesi disi no ene ba ko not mu bi. Unfortunately that time they be no deputy minister na ni timi ni wo form kakra but the nay you abenya minister 10 minutes full time wo timi nya hwe aja no ntofo aban na promise ye say dienti an nakufu ado say anapa na hwe video na dan kokufu ado kan sembo say ade ba ko penti no kofa ado taba o free Bank of Ghana ade ne ba so men running mate unni ntia wose dollar ni ntia wose yesika na ye hata na nam say aye hata na enia hoden ni nti wode obi animdi abo ne tirim ma ba na obeboa yen na sika na nya na hoden agina so aja wode nipa namba ena wonam dwom na odi asa wadane dancer Michael Jackson chen na no chen wodi mu keke ano nam dwom ebu nipa dollar no se na wati free na 115 no wow okay on break dancer where do you understand you when na mu biya keke no the name what do you do aja
one
Michael promise ya ban ti hun nei promise say they will stabilize our city to make hyper say you about Eko Central University kodnya daje ko sewo madaje no mo bre ase ka won tra da musua de papa bi ka babo mo say okoye lectures on how to stabilize our city and your man bre man platform se bi gina so na kasa aja wo koka samretintin ama nani se mo kan nyina so amanfa so mo no amu na so banfa so mo man Ghana it's a waste of time and resources. That noise that you want to make there. A complete waste of time and resources. Because no one must elect us now on what transfer prepare or kind of trouble feel on one. He will fail. All notes. I want to prepare. Shall we do our boy? Sanya adwin na hu say adwin wo fom kakra sabi. Obekasa ma kan ya kire. One will say when the fundamentals are weak. Adie ba ko pe na di hu adan say fundamentals of the economy no weak. And no need exchange rate. And the time you were saying that, na exchange rate na enu for cedi so. The time na was say exchange rate a week nintinu and not say your fundamentals and no. Now the dollar was to see the enu for cedis. And na 15. So far say a 4 times 3 is 12. It's a bon miensa a 12 cedis no. But a bon miensa twamo say aka na bon 9. 50 we taking as a 50.9.
95.
15.95.
Ebinum ton sa.
Ebinum ton 15.95. 15.95 So what it means is that it is almost times 4 of the offer no. Over 400% increase. But when you tibon cost binu akachiro say, oh, that be $1 no move to 50 cedis. Better change this time. Minimum classroom come between mo. Sankrofon. I don't know who teacher taught them. Say idea free one I could do 3 point something almost 4. What's it and when you find something it could do 4 kra. 1 to 4 what's it and only your worse than 4 to 16 or almost 16 to say. Are you okay? What teacher I mean sometimes I'm sure no wonder I saw a post of Professor or the saying or Legon that this
Professor
Jampo making a very funny post about this Tina American was me. And I mean, what kind of logic is this? Any logic ni? Say a different one, echo 4. What's here no say bit fracture. Nyan say nimuna echenkure. Na me free 4 echo PM almost 16 there. And no there is better. Say be so bu say nyan say we timi adwin we timi. You won't tell us this. You won't say this to us. I mean, see, amount for so businessmen are $2 no munya dollar to. Won't afford the $1 credit bank with them. Go and tell them this. Your people, your colleague ministers and former ministers are holding money. Their rooms are now banks. They are now safe rooms and strong rooms of dollars. Tell them to release those dollars. Don't come and tell us this. The businessmen need the dollars to trade. To the sense you can't even tell how much of your money has been stolen. And that's what can want go and tell them to release those monies into the economy. Official fighting. The businessman there will be no, and I don't know if you be a businessman be I think Makola. Now Mungo will be news as a UTV news will be no interview. Or will be saying what did you know? UTV, thank you. So what else we are kind was saying me here $10,000 to get $10,000. What else guy out we here to get to $10,000? And yes, kaketwa. It was a musa sabrana and no way of mase and then run a pa and of Yagmanasano. No food bra while the mother pum sabrana about one busan in Samono. Or bonnet brat someone when a move Freddy and my man and Sakona. Who bona brand swim and then Sika say. And you are telling the same person, say, oh, $9 and the money for China where the city is now. Or event say, taking off and the money for taking the bagana. What the city is now. $1 soon or so don't give those orders to them because women they don't hoard the monies. Your ministers and colleagues are hoarding the monies. Women that is cancer, that's all.
Oh, point to me.
Accuracy banks over them. And yet, a businessman because it's kind of good number there. Office come to them. No businessman will keep money in their rooms. Or that's right. Or give you dollars one day. What they don't keep it because he has things to use money for. At the time the same mobile than anymore or person so he will not keep money in his rooms.
Some of who patch say, man pedia bed the chili, man pedin, man penable buy no. Economics, some to 3 or more a year. Okay, would you share video now? What's man penny ko kan say niti ode man penny be de chire bae no en hwe say betumi abo atia na fi be gina so de bisa questions bi san say asemi hia pa
Sinaya hata. I want him be. I don't see one year deep down the Yenya over so. Kahubi. A Kahubi till I'm a coffee by Umia. Some coming home. Yes, she say you sick at some no, a year and Sikano, the moon yet to build. Let me the human out of banana. Sinaya hata. I want him be. I don't see one year deep down the Yenya over so. Kahubi. A Kahubi till I'm a coffee by Umia. Some coming home. Yes, she say you sick at some no, a year and Sikano, the moon yet to build. Let me the human out of banana. Sinaya hata.
Yeah, Mitchell, or see then hata na.
Utie asemo omanpani kan ya. Said Dr. Bawumia begin new campaign because of Pamono.
I didn't.
From this. From this video I was here. Said Dr. Bawumia ba school muso person no kasa. Dr. Bawumia ba fie o community muso person no kasa. You have to sack him. He doesn't deserve your time. See the one kind know. Was so no ntimi nye no. Wakofo bia obabon Mercedes na ye hata sa abere na wo kan wasem no yamana ho ode na back. That person is now perambulating aimlessly and giving you a new promise.
Na say COVID say o shase so
yeah COVID some
COVID buy ye
COVID some
and Gaza so some
ade Gaza
no
okay no asem okay on
Russia can affect here a global pandemic.
I was checking the inflation of Russia at 7.7% as at April.
What are that going to do with anything?
Ukraine at 3.0% as at April.
And no one export.
What's your inflation in 2017? About 26% almost. And you're happy, you're comparing yourself to one. You're too bomb by Magana, echo Ukraine. But you're progressing. They are producing. What are they going produce by shit? One go to produce export. One more brabo, abo brabo ni asansa bra. What you say on internet be ye? On Abuka was saying, they have been locked out of the international market.
Yeah.
And nothing that music has 70 million. Do you know why you are locked out of the international market? You are locked there because of excessive borrowing. Go and check it. World Bank warned you people in 2020. Say, fix the borrowing strength. What they call now, someone when Ghana will become a debt distressed country. And never know someone who 2020 and a World Bank Bobo Coco. One TNT June 2022 and a World Bank said we are locking out of the international market. And no one of them said for the IMF level. IMF. But again, the same Bawumia said was say you only go to IMF when you borrow too much. That video is there. You are before IMF today because you have borrowed too much. I didn't say that. IMF records neka. IMF records said you were overspending. Must say sikado. And no one. This is why we are before IMF. Let it be on record. When this government took over in 2017 January, na NDC IMF na yekɔ na emu sika na yɛkɔpɛ about $980 million. Emu 300 something pen naba. Majority of the money came under this government. Sika no kase over 600 million about the Kufuor Bawumia back the government. And what you want say best stand the term no. One say 1 year but so biem. E ma ne ko anim. Me wa. Eti na boso kan. Again go back to the same COVID argument that I will make no. Wo pebra COVID ba ya ban ba ko nya mu fa so pa ya Kufuor Bawumia. We say IMF come $2 billion during COVID time. Just IMF alone. World Bank money over $400 million. Ko check African Development Bank there. Ko check EU4 there. Check all those monies. Ghana ha nyuma MTN Bank of Ghana kra. Sika ma na brosu. You've gotten all these monies. You are not ashamed for having misused these funds. You are still blaming your woes, your recklessness, your ill performance on the actions on COVID. On COVID nibi. The whole year of 2020, I covered by America. I saw COVID effect more than you saw it here. Lockdown only 2 weeks. America was a whole year. But America didn't collapse.
Some almost change.
Because they were paying money to people. They were paying money to people here, covered by not make one time you travel from New York to upstate North. Now, no has for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and San Diego. Even though that part now a part of New York, but that's all for these two states. What you call highways and Namsunara. They were working through cameras. We met Tibon Koso by a woman memoir. Almost a person can do man. No, so close to another need to make money. And no close to saying Tobus. Meanwhile, the about me told Ghanaians say, yes, a Bobo Bision. Idea we hear about was it just tow our ropes. For Tobus is ya crying now, so Obanesi can be a bit of Cambia Gruma. But we are no or to one as EM teacher. I'm not told you come. Did he say anything about it?
Okay, so you see, now me I go to put it. I am a mountain. Okay, so mountain. And I saw also could do Ivan be right. And the school need to get and said woman doesn't join allowance my. I'm also I'm not order see in Pia. Me what? Yet 177 million. Yet yeah. Yet be call. Yet be me what? In terms of not so on my orders I do. It will come to police of a customer. He's a liar. That man is not truthful. Okachas and nurses are suffering. Teachers are suffering. And now one say, how many of those guys are praising him today? How many are praising him today? You've been reckless from Genesis to Revelation. Okay. Everything about your governance is recklessness. Bond market. And you block him on our colors and we go to Oblem and say, and I'm on with me. When you say in the history of Ghana, Opa bond market, yes, you can chamber and be a Yakufa. 11 billion US dollars from the bond market alone. 11 billion, billion. From Kufuor, Rollins, Abayi, and as a Rollins, Mills, Kufuor, Ali Mahama, Mills Mahama, everything Kufuor Abayi. The 1 year Sikaka Sepa from bond market, Kufuor Abayi. $11 billion. 2018, 2 billion. 2019, 3 billion. 2020, 3 billion. 2021, 3 billion. 2022, and your money. So don't blame us for anything. Anyone who saw guys are from talk about petrol prices are rising because IMF and Makono conditions IMF one say anytime be inflation because and national dollar rate because multiple condition that one he knows it. If the petrol one because as and when fuel prices exchange rate is increasing or exchange rate is increasing. What do you can say? Exchange rate and also 15 almost 16. What do you can say? Inflation and 26% almost. So don't expect it to come down when that is your condition. That is the simplest way to describe you guys. But they are not saying, oh, Sanka, I am this phone. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And this even didn't take it to even force this. And this is for force this. So as of January 2017, I'm going to take you over. No, I don't know. It will be force this. It's at the whole of the NDC period now, 2009 January to 2016 December or January 2017. Not a new sir. But when you were promising Ghana that you have the men to fix our problems. Men no way. And the men make like a car was a pickup a cheap muno. I don't dance artists. And only men. Okay, me that's it. What dear Bernard? Mammy Mraho, na yen for we encounter yen say. It is my bay, your bay, my mission time over now. Well, 1 minute answer. 1 second. Now, almost once a big as I was stopping me, will be because I don't want to stop on also, one question. They say, on country Ghana for about what he will do differently to reverse this. So, what we are going to do differently is very simple. We are going to ensure that the country will become the import-driven country. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? How do you do that? You know it. But you couldn't do it. So what may have won in the first time? But our time the dollar wasn't as it were. Oh, because you know you very well. No one needs that situation. What situation? Situation. What situation? And now you just say,
who call Abontin Cry, Senator Frache, UK. Miss, I'm living condition called double.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you.
What are you talking about?
And you know this. They say, Ghanaians, what you do differently to the administration. West.
Have you promised anything different? Have you guys promised anything different?
Let me ask it. Yeah, share. My penny say we have outperformed NDC. See, we have outperformed NDC.
Of course, more than
100%.
My main kind. Say Dr. Baumia pointed out that the NDC era was characterized by low economic growth, a decline in agricultural growth, a low industrial growth, among others. Even though the ex-while NDC government did not face twice the crisis that that has bedeviled the world, which is COVID-19 pandemic that struck the world in 2019 and geopolitical war as a result of Russia invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Also, notwithstanding that, near Momochimi and Yasam Kumakura until Russia and Ukraine, some saving in Echino, Oma Bojuma Papa, and this time that's how no anyhow, and Tino breaking the 8 is possible. Mamitio, where the entire brand is be able to be able 5.
That's baby. Mete Hanona Meka say MPP for your bonnet now Baba Kamo Bonnie Asema. No more say NDC for ye binga. Until my be done into almost as a Montimi bonnet. What was the level of unemployment, the rate of unemployment in this country under NDC?
7%. 7%, yeah.
And now you're saying?
And almost 15%, 14 point something.
40.6.
Are you talking about population increase?
So GDP growth now.
Are you talking about population increase?
GDP.
What analysis that we in total?
GDP now, our say it has grown. No. What is the benefit of that GDP to absorbing the unemployed persons in this country into the form of employment? Enchebiano Meka say GDP growth rates appears not to have any significance at the Magana need development.
How?
Because GDP no anya odia. GDP is the summation of goods and services produced in a country over a period. And yes, sir, when you do that summation, irrespective of who produced it, into Chinese for the Oha, Lebanese the Oha, Indians the Oha, Americans, that is Osami Bibia goods and services produced or consumed in the economy. That is GDP. Into uwie no, what's the GDP? A peja. Na ye nyina ya bozem ama. Ba ye wie na Lebanese for e de omodie eko. Chinese for e de omodie eko. South Africans through MTN stand big. No almost e de omodie eko. And ShopRite and
game near that
game no na nti the South Africans also
game go actually
go
and say na
and say omoguno say we was the wadaroma abamboni ente hu waguno.
So I'm just mentioning say omodi eko China mall for any Chinese galamseyers ni no almost e de omodi eko at the time now omodi ni nyina eko no omoko wie no. Tell me what you mean by GDP.
Bibi ani ho. Enti den na success ye.
Enti say ye dasu you see GDP. Ye dasu you see GDP to determine how well our economy is doing. And when de bia make say nyanse nim. Nyanse nim. Because say offer gross national product. And no the way you foreigners no efim. Into uyi foreigners no film we na ohwe gross national product na ohwe its contribution to development oho na obehu say Ghana no ya say no we have raped this country, we have made it naked atade bia nche Ghana, and that is my challenge. Into say metiho now the vice president and the head of the economic management team, who is an economist, Etimiko Jina and is still using GDP I get sick. Because reality is we don't own it. And it does not translate to development. So GDP growth rate is like this. Now your development is going down. Every indicator of development shows that you are going down. Unemployment is on the high. Inflation is at a different level. Depreciation of your currency is at a different level. Your appetite for imported goods is a different level. So what? So, in effect, why are we still using this? Are we been cursed? Sure, Oko, Mexico. They discovered lithium. Say yes, we have discovered it. And Omoka say, Omo the privatization eba Omo mining sector. And Omo who say, Omo yi, Omo no atadie nyina to actually. And you can check one of the MPs of Mexico on the internet, Garcia. Oko parliament, I say, share, mo tong Mexico, ne minerals any you know, nti oko yi ni coat. Oyi ni jacket, say odi oyi editor in parliament. And oyi ni tie. And all raw ni nuyama. And I say, all baby drew baby no almost say man in chin pant no ba between and the police be fan. I say if it is disgusting for me to be naked in public, that is the way you have made our economy to look like. Sir and okay, Garcia said this and dramatize it. I say, why are you doing this? But diano, ye one year they are ma omo continue to sell off this rice and now we are selling Senate assets. And when you listen to Omubi, I feel sad. Oh, the sense that we used to run nation, no, is swap. Government investments are not always about profit. And now no nami watamale, and I met some lecturers and a nami ni omokasa. And about Kubisa say we are not asking. Yes, ma omontong state assets no, including Senate assets no, edema, but they are not making profit. Minu ya no fi Laura. And maybe Sana say, does he think that Ghana Commercial Bank in Laura is making profit? Who name Laura Bibrisa? But do you think that it's making profit in Laura? Certainly not. So why did government go and put up a Ghana Commercial Bank in a place that they know will not make profit? Because Stanbic will not go there. Is that what you say?
Maybe enough profit.
It will not go there. No, even if it's making losses. There is a reason why you would prefer that it will make losses. Because where doctors say ye juma ho, and yes sir.
Yeah.
Nurses say ye juma ho. Police for ye juma ho. Teachers say ye juma ho. All government any utia moka. So if you don't
assemblies,
if you don't take the facility to that place, because it's not making profit. Next, let's say the place they will be making profit, the nearest will be Bolaga or in Tamale. So they have to leave at the close of every month and drive to Tamale or sit in public bus to Tamale. Into doctors nina kwakwaje omunketua.
Insecurity driver.
What are you talking about? So because of those things, government engages in investment. So it's not always about profit. Private sector, and their main reason for establishment is profit. But you sit down and some people who are majored in thought about what governance is, think that every government project must generate profit, say generating profit, naturally say it is not doing well. And that is the reason why our nation has struggled the way it is. Master, when government establishes hotels, government ankasa nim say hotels now are established. The purpose is that nipa now more training or more in the hospitality industries, they can go and get a place to practice. So not all of them will be making profit. A bit better profit, then they will use it to offset the losses from the other side. You come and gather and say this one is not making profit in Yantong. What about the people you are training? They should come and go and be in the bush.
Ose wa outperform mo ma ye adwuma chen mo bam nti even though time na mo ho no na ohawa mabobo so yi covid ni Russia ni ho na Ukraine ni Russia covid ni Russia and Ukraine in one name how do but mo tumi anya adwuma mo dey upon all this how buy no mo tumi anya adwuma chemo panti no it's possible say bombe tumi break 8 no lawyer mama 5 minutes whatever.
All right ajameda say I feel sometimes we are not to see BBS here na woni ho a very difficult to understand what led to that, but with time I have come to understand the entire Dr. Bawumia Zimbabwe for pamono
are
yeah say who say wo di nachi akoman sa brinki aton say Zimbabwe for di nachi be pom na say we economic advisor to their government ki aton kru no cause the kind of ideas of what economically no eh dey wo di akira e mo man ne bo. How on earth can you look at what is happening today, the rate of your misgovernance and mismanagement, nepotistic government is it, and you're happy to say some more? Of course we are there because we are now in Zambia. If you watch it to them and necessary for us to be na area ko bupo ni se ban say ya we want me ka ho asem bi me why are they no so it's good and now we share boss you remove Ghana when I can is on and that is why we are marking him as a president and not even as vice president because they need that a boss akese do no back for the bam before he became president no Bawumia na kan he said say we remove Ghana from taxation to production.
Yeah.
And you go for the it was said about me. And I may not see them why I can say your tax on betting. Now some warp logic be mean on anywhere no. Ties I don't know where next. One must say who say you for no be now engage in betting do say you for no. It won't person you for no best until the tax atoso no. Now one see bibia you okay ma wa. One na betting company in lines I will be now say as of one number to collection. Obi betting company no o man lines zo means company ni si won now say aso for one aso man be kwa to collection obi ese go for kwa bet. So if you don't want your youth to go wayward, why will you give license to your company to open a betting company? But the logic behind side no me no into almost the tax at betting so then around here we need men no obi a chen 10 Ghana bi o ko bet na wodi na ba side dey afrim because o see you no lazy. And now with the VAT, and not for the year the biggest demonstration TIS VAT at the bonnie. VAT, most say at the bonnie you could walk and not the part. And 2 year could demonstration when who said about na be dia kunya with Bawumia. Much near Paja VAT men the VAT na was saying when over was going to be peace. Some from what send them for more. And you are happy. What's why are Chem your mind ba kwa wi asimu ha what ya mo de munim sa mpo chan yem bi no chem ba o man ba ko pedi ya woje covid tax and so covid levy na bodi jam na asama me kanya nyaka Ghana we Ghana fi atama man ba o man bi wa onimo
any me shede ni
thank you but covid ko wi asama nsa nyina lo me si amanya wo munya covid who effect pa na Ghana nka ho Ghana was what enjoying Ghana was benefiting Sika munya na mo chama party for north say upper east upper west you go say parliamentary candidate ni chairman bia no omo kontoko e wezika na ho no so okay say obi na buy you remember right yeah covid is candidate mo so mo ncheni jamu ye no wo ye wo se ko jeni no na unu say wudin ko na ngoma na wudi no they lack understanding when it comes to governance. How on earth can you say someone yard wo bra nan kwala secondary school kwala ko exam sa one the AI the train exams e exam room AI I wo phone so artificial intelligence eni wo nsam eni bukum eni wadwene mu e wo phone so e app you see over 230 secondary schools why can say one mut enkwala ne di AI train exams nti wo so enu akwa ya fa ma wo over 230 secondary schools students secondary schools maku ahanu ne etire enkwala na ko twonso na adina di mobile phones awura dem ho adina so di artificial ya nche ma dem ho bia ntino question na ebusa no wonim edu onim answer nti wo question say AI ni mana answer no watwe no And then the children so my wife for some market. You are not ashamed of this. What